What's going on, guys? Spurs lose 106 to 100 in Miami. Um, Miami's a good team. This puts them at 18-1 at home, 28-12 this year overall, and they are the third best team in the East record-wise right now. They're a good team, um, and the Spurs played a pretty good game for a lot of this game. The defense, as you can probably tell, was pretty good. Um, for a lot of this game, they were making Miami work really hard for their shots, and Miami just hit a lot of tough ones. Kendrick Nunn went off, um, and that one is not on Bryn Forbes. Bryn Forbes was busy getting cooked by Duncan Robinson. But yeah, Kendrick Nunn, 13 of 18, 33 points. Um, Jimmy Butler, pretty contained, 12 points. But DeMar had another great game. He was unconscious in this one. He had 30 points on 12 of 14 shooting and 7 assists. Like that's a good game. Uh, Nobody cares. Okay, yeah, they lost. Sure, I get it. So why did they lose? Let's talk about why they lost. Uh, Everybody else played bad. That's the short answer. Um, maybe not bad, but and Patty Mills had a great game. He had 21 points off the bench. But every other Spur shot below 50% in this one, except Jakob Poeltl, 1 of 1. Um, Rudy Gay, 1 of 8. Yikes. Bryn Forbes hit his threes of the game, and then he shot 1 of 7 from 3 for the rest of the game. DeJounte Murray, just 2 of 6 in this game from the floor, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Played pretty good defense. LaMarcus Aldridge, 12 points. But here's the thing with LaMarcus Aldridge taking a step back. It means that he's going to have nights like this where he's just not as involved. He shot 5 of 12. That's not good for somebody his size. That's not terrible. Trey Lyles, who has been starting all year, 2 of 7 from the floor, 7 rebounds. He's the kind of guy that like you kind of expect him to finish the game with 4 points. Like that seems about right for Trey Lyles. If he has a good game, he has a good game. But I feel like he has more 4-point games than he has good games. That's okay. As long as he's not taking too many shots, that's okay. Because kind of the point of having a guy like Lyles is that theoretically he could space the floor a little bit. And he doesn't need the ball. He doesn't need a ton of shots. He gets rebounds. He defends okay. He's a good player to pair with DeMar and LaMarcus and the rest of that starting unit theoretically, because he doesn't need too much of the ball. But he is he the best? Is he one of the 5 best players on this team? No, absolutely not. He might not be one of the 8 best players on this team. It's more of a fit thing with him. And I think that's kind of why Bryn Forbes is playing too, because, that unit needs shooting. Bryn Forbes provides shooting sometimes, not consistently. And the problem is his defense, but his defense wasn't, a terrible problem tonight. What did Duncan Robinson, a guy who was named to be on the Spurs, have? He had 11 points. He did fine. There were times when Bryn got switched and it was not great. But it's never great when he gets switched. It's never great when Patty Mills gets switched onto anybody. Patty Mills had to guard Kendrick Nunn on a critical possession late in this game. Guess what? It didn't go well. And when you're losing the game, you have to have shooters in there. So, this is just one of those games for the Spurs. They went on the road, they played a good team, they played a good game, um, and, you kind of expect a loss like this. One thing, you guys know me, I would never question Greg Popovich. I would never do that. That man is a five-time champion. He knows more about basketball than all of us put together. I would never question Greg Popovich. But I do have this question, uh, about the 5 minutes in between the 3rd and 4th quarter, uh, when Marco Bellinelli was out there for 5 minutes. He was out there with Patty Mills and Rudy Gay, um, Derek White and Jakob Poeltl as the bookends. Um, but so we got 5 minutes of Marco with either Patty or Bryn. And in those 5 minutes, the Spurs got outscored by 7, uh, gave up a lead, and gave Miami momentum for the entire 4th quarter. Um, so, you know, um, would I advise that? No, I would not advise that. Um, Lonnie Walker didn't play great in his 8 minutes. He was just 1 of 4 from the field. 3 rebounds though. That's one thing with Lonnie is his rebounding coming into the league was one of the only question marks for him because a player with that much athleticism should get more rebounds. He's getting more rebounds this year in his playing time, which is good. Only 3 tonight because he only played 8 minutes. And he shot 1 of 4 in those 8 minutes. But I don't I really don't think that Lonnie's role should be the only one on the team that's dictated by whether or not he's hitting shots. Like, it seems like every other one of these guys could go out there and miss shots and be fine. Um, and I get that maybe his shot selection hasn't been so great. Um, he has done way too much, like, driving into the paint that is completely clogged. Um, that's an issue for sure. Um, but, you know, chew him out on the bench, chew him out in the locker room, and put him back out there. Like, ha I understand that Pop is trying to make Lonnie better. I I get that. I think, you know, sure, there's something to be said for tough love. Who am I to question the coaching method of Greg Popovich? But, like, you can give him tough love and minutes. It's like, I I don't know. I don't know. We had seen kind of an uptick in minutes for him, um, and, that's kinda faded a little bit these past couple games. He didn't play much in the Toronto game either, although after a really good 4th quarter from Marco Bellinelli, uh, the Spurs got the lead. Pop put Lonnie in to play some defense. He got a rebound. He got a good box out. He was very active in the last 28 seconds of that thrilling win. Um, but yeah, this is if you told me the night that Lonnie started against Milwaukee that like a week later he would play 8 minutes off the bench, I'll be like, "Please no. Please tell me that's not true." Like, that's so disappointing. Um, I really thought that, uh, at a certain point, um, Pop had just kinda had enough of Bryn Forbes. Because at this point, I don't know many people in San Antonio who haven't had enough of Bryn Forbes. Like, real talk, like, I mean, do you, do you know anybody? Is there anybody out there who's like, you know what? I think it's good that the Spurs are starting Bryn Forbes, and I want him to be the starting shooting guard for the Spurs for the next several years. Any of you out there? I'm not seeing anything. Um, it's not that we hate him. It's not that anybody hates him. I'm sure people hate him, but like you don't have to hate him to just acknowledge that he's not the answer for this Spurs team. They need shooters, obviously, but there are shooters who also play defense. Like that's kind of a thing. That's a whole thing. It's called a 3 and D guy. They exist. They're out there. Um, and yeah, Bryn Forbes is not that. He is a sometimes three. Uh, a sometimes three and no D. And hey, that happens. But this game was not about Bryn Forbes. I'm ranting. This game was about going on the road and losing a basketball game. These things happen. Um, would I have played Marco Bellinelli? No. Uh, would I have played Bryn Forbes so much? Probably not. Would I have played Lonnie Walker more? Absolutely. They don't pay me to make these decisions. So I'm just talking into the ether and at you guys. But, this was a close game. And the Spurs get another look at this Heat team on Sunday at home. I reckon they make some adjustments. I think they might look at the tape and see how they need to guard none a little better. And maybe we'll see some rotation changes. I don't know. Like that's where I'm at with the rotation this year. Just how am I to know? So we'll see. Spurs' next game is Friday against the Hawks. Trap game, maybe. The Hawks have been very not good this year. The Spurs have not been good against teams that are not very good this year. So a lot of these games are becoming must-win games for the Spurs at this point. They're 17 and 22 now. They're still very much in the hunt for that ace seed in the West. But they need to take care of business against teams like the Hawks. If they can't do that, there is no hope. So that game is going to be much more critical than it might look on the schedule. It's arguably more critical than the games against the good teams. They need to take care of business against teams like that. And we'll see how they regroup. We'll see. Elliot Brewer in the chat? Dude. That's crazy. How you doing, man? Let's do this offline, but what is going on, Elliot? All right, cool. I haven't talked to Elliot in a minute. I love that kid. I'm very excited that he's here. Very excited that all of you are here. Thank all of you for hanging out. This has been really fun. Spurs lose. These things happen. And we'll see how they do next time. All right. I'll take a look at this tape tomorrow. I'll let you know what I see. You guys be good out there. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. As always, go Spurs, go.